Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
I thought you'd never ask. It's Monday, the 13th day of April. It is National Make Lunch Count Day.
Okay.
So make lunch count today. It's also National Peach Cobbler Day. Ooh, that would be a good way to
That
make lunch
sounds
count.
good,
That
doesn't
does
it?
sound good. National Scrabble Day. I've seen more photos of Scrabble boards in the last couple of weeks than I've seen in
Have
years.
you really?
Oh,
I
yeah.
haven't seen any.
I have a lot of friends that have been posting photos of Scrabble, and here's what usually it's because they're complaining about somebody using a word that's not a word. And one of my favorites was a friend of mine put, he said, all I have left are these tiles, nothing. And it was, he had, I'm trying to think what it was, CIA foes, but it also spelled fiasco. I'm like, that's a word. Just rearrange it. That's fiasco. Oh, dang it. I need you to help me with Scrabble. Oh, it's also National Thomas Jefferson Day today. And I've got a couple of guests join me because it's a thing called Movie Star Monday. Got two today. And one is so adorable. She's 9 years old. Her name is Brooklynn Prince. She's gotten some really good opportunities. And then in this movie, the program she's in right now on Apple TV, it's called HomeBeforeDark. She's playing a young lady. It's a real, based on a true story. And her dad in that program is Jim Sturgess. He's also extremely talented. He's on the program today, too. Both of them. 2 for 1.
Sweet.
Yeah, it's all coming up on this Movie Star Monday. Many people have dabbled in the stock market for their very first time ever this year. If you're new to the market, but you don't want to learn things the hard way and the expensive way, I encourage you to subscribe to this free newsletter. You can get the inside track with Wall Street's brightest minds delivered directly to your inbox every day at marketbeatminute.com. Subscribe for free. If you change your mind, just unsubscribe. Sign up for free right now at marketbeatminute.com. That's marketbeatminute.com. Now, surveys and studies and such brought to you by BetterCreditCards.com. New survey found that divorces have surged in China after the lockdowns.
Yeah.
So things are, wink, wink, back to normal in China, but they're saying not so normal.
That seems to happen.
Yeah. So there's been a touch of marital bliss not being so bliss for people who've maybe been cooped up together. Here's the thing that I would say. We had a Dear John letter last week that was about this. First of all, don't get upset with each other. I understand you're spending a lot more time together lately than you're used to. We do that all the time. Mm-hmm. So we're used to this. Like, we've had this for a long time.
Right. A little more extreme than what we're used to because I can't leave.
What? Well, you want to? Anyway, if you would like to get some more info, I've got a link to the story about what's happening in China, but I would just say, work it out. It's going to be fine. This, too, shall pass. Surveys and studies and such brought to you by BetterCreditCards.com.
Some credit cards have really high rates or big annual fees. Usually, people sign up for these when it's all they qualify for. If that sounds like you, it may be time to get a better credit card. Over time, your situation changes, and you may qualify for a better credit card. Your current card hopes you don't think about it, but our site shows you many options to see if there's a better credit card for you. Check it out for free at BetterCreditCards.com. That's BetterCreditCards.com.
This is your Brain on Drugs, brought to you by Time4Rehab.com. We head to Florida, where we find a mother of 3. A man was shot by a mother of 3 after deputies say he broke into her home. So here's what happened. March 31st.
Good for her.
He broke into the home because he thought that dinosaurs were chasing him.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, she should have shot him.
So they say this happened in Florida. Let's see, 32-year-old Joseph Roberts tried to break into a home. 5:45 a.m., he shattered a front window. A woman inside, 42-year-old mother of 3, had several kids in the home, called 911, said, I don't want to shoot him, but I'm going to have to.
Yep,
and he said, get out of my window, get out of my window. And finally, she had to. He didn't. She opened fire. He said, I think dinosaurs are chasing me. And then he said, I think I might have had some bad weed.
Yeah.
So
good for her. I'm glad she defended herself.
Seeking enhanced penalty for committing a burglary during a national emergency. So he's in a little more trouble than normal.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening. That is what happens when your brain is on drugs.
John and Heidi.
Now, big screen, little screen, brought to you by ChannelSurferTV.com. For those of you who are fans of Tiger King, buckle up, Buttercup. 4 different Tiger King stories. First one, Tiger King star Carol Baskin says she did not put her first husband in a meat grinder. Meanwhile,
Then where is he?
the sheriff's office has reopened the case based on all the interest that came from the show. But you notice she only said, I didn't put him in a meat grinder. She didn't say
I didn't kill him.
He's not under the septic tank.
Wow.
Anyway, O.J. Simpson has weighed in on Tiger King. He said that
I bet he has.
there's not a shred of doubt that Carol Baskin killed her husband. And he said, if you want to talk to somebody who knows about killing their spouse and getting away with it. He didn't really say that last part. Netflix is adding one more episode of Tiger King. It's expected to be released soon. The news was announced by cast member Jeff Lowe, who encouraged people to, quote, put on your mask. So I think that's a good thing. It's maybe the smartest thing Jeff ever said. For those of you who are fans of the show, I've not seen anybody that's been a fan of him when the show is done. And again, Jeff, you're probably a nice enough dude, but it kind of painted it out to not be such a great guy. And finally, Investigation Discovery is launching a Tiger King spinoff that will focus on the disappearance of Carol Baskin's husband. So, wow, 4 stories. What a program. Thanks for listening to Big Screen, Little Screen, brought to you by ChannelSurferTV.com and apparently Tiger King.
We're here to make it better.
If you find that drug or alcohol problems are hitting you too close to home, you can get help. Maybe it's time for rehab. Your insurance may even cover everything. Learn more at timeforrehab.com. Get help for a drug or alcohol problem within 24 hours.
We're here to make it better.
Get more information at timeforrehab.com. That's timeforrehab.com.
Now your scoop of the day, and it comes your way courtesy of InsuranceChicken.com. Researchers from online casinos have developed a model of what avid video game gamers, like game players, will look like in 20 years if they don't change their habits. The model shows them being overweight with bad posture.
Okay.
So if you've got a youngster that plays a lot of video games, I have a link to the story if you want to see it, but you got to keep in mind who this is that's putting this out. Online casinos. They're like, hey, don't do that. Play our games instead. So
Right.
I think that's kind of maybe a one-sided thing. eToro found that Andrew was the top-earning name for boys in 2019.
Oh, okay.
And
good.
Anna
It's a normal name.
was the girl that made the most money off of investments in 2019. So it's not that that's how many people.
Oh.
So people with the name Andrew,
earning
the
name.
top
so
earning
they're
boy's
making
name.
more money. Okay,
Yeah,
I
and
see.
people named Anna made the most off their investments. So
Okay.
I didn't know that they were keeping track of such things.
Yeah,
but
I didn't know either. And what is the point of that?
I don't know. It's just fun stuff for us to say on the radio. Don't make that stuff go away. Over here, L.A. mayor is encouraging people to rat out neighbors who break quarantine.
Oh, good
and said
Lord.
publicly, this is what the mayor of L.A. said, snitches get riches.
Oh,
What?
my gosh.
Yeah, I don't know about that. 2 Utah, and I'm not saying you should be out breaking the quarantine, but the whole snitches get riches, I think that's going a bit far. So he's saying, hey, we're gonna pay you to rat out your neighbors. It's a bad idea. 2 Utah children were briefly hospitalized after eating marijuana gummies that were inside a meal they received from a local food bank.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, that's not good. Not good at all. Queen Elizabeth was in the news recently. Heidi actually shared some stuff. You showed me some photos where people photoshopped her.
Photoshopped her because she did that interview with a green dress, that speech in a green dress, and so people kind of
Use
green
it like a
screened
green
her.
screen.
Yeah.
Well, Queen Elizabeth addressed the nation on primetime television. It was a weekend ago, last Sunday, not just yesterday, but like a week ago yesterday. Only the 4th time in her reign. Now, she gives a national address at Christmas every year, but this is the 4th time that she's done this for something other than Christmas. She did one at the start of the Gulf War in 1991, one right after Princess Diana passed away in 1997, and then after her own mother died in 2002, and then the one that just happened was her 4th address, and it's the only one that's ever happened in the social media age, and that's why people were having fun with the Photoshop.
Right.
The National Bobblehead Hall of Fame is honoring Dr. Anthony Fauci with his own bobblehead doll. Okay. I'm not sure. Is that an honor? I suppose it is, because you wouldn't have a bobblehead of somebody that you don't like. So that's kind of cool, I guess. And one last thing, interesting thing, too. Google has banned all political ads related to the coronavirus. So I'm not really sure what that means exactly. But apparently, if you're a politician and you want to run an ad and somehow tie that to the pandemic, they're saying, no, we're not letting you do that.
For both sides, huh?
Apparently. So that's, I think, good news. That's going to do it for your Scoop of the Day on the John and Heidi Show.
Do you pay too much for insurance? Have you looked around? Or are you too chicken? Don't be afraid to look around to see if you can find a better deal at InsuranceChicken.com. We make it super simple for you to see rates from several different companies, to see what they have to offer, all in one place. Peck out great insurance deals at InsuranceChicken.com. Is it time for you to cross the road? See if we can save you money each month at InsuranceChicken.com. That's InsuranceChicken.com.
It's another Movie Star Monday with not one, but two movie stars today. We have Jim Sturgess and Brooklyn Prince, both in the new program Home Before Dark. It's streaming now on Apple TV. Mr. Sturgess has been in a ton of movies, working with people like Kevin Spacey and Lawrence Fishburne, Tom Hanks, Halle Berry, and now he's got this awesome young lady that he's working with, Brooklyn Prince, who's also been in a ton of stuff. By the way, she's 9, but when she was 7, she worked with William Dafoe and the Florida Project, working on a project right now with Angelina Jolie and Sam Rockwell. Well, let's start with Ms. Brooklyn Prince. What was it like in the program Home Before Dark, where you're actually portraying a real person?
That was a first, and let me tell you, I was nervous. I was so nervous because, you don't know, because it's different from, playing, a character. You can make that character, a fictional character up in your head, and this is, a real person. So I'm like, what if she doesn't like the way I act? What if, she doesn't like the way I look? What if she had a different actor in mind? And when I found out I got to play Hildy, she tweeted and she's like, I'm so excited to be, to have Brooklyn playing Hildy. And I was like, yeah! Yeah, but that was my first time, and I was, excited but nervous at, the same time, and I was in that time, I was a glass case of emotion. So,
Brooklyn, you've done some amazing movies in the past. Now, this is a television program for Apple TV where there's a bunch of different episodes. Do you prefer that over movies, do you think?
I've always wanted to do, a TV show. It just sounded, really cool to me. And, I've always been, and it's awesome because, you get to form, a family. Throughout, all the seasons. Yeah, you get to, shoot a movie and, make a family for, 2 or 3 months, and unless there's a sequel, you don't get to see them again. But, you get to see them, every single episode. After one episode, you're going to see them for, 9 more episodes.
And now, speaking of family, in this program, the gentleman that portrays your father in the program is Jim Sturgess, and we've got him joining us right now. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing great.
What was it like working with this young lady? She's 9 years old, and she's so talented.
Yeah, I was blown away by Brooklyn. Before I'd even met Brooklyn, I was blown away by her, because I'd seen her in the movie The Florida Project probably about a month or so before we actually met. So, yeah, I was asked to fly to Los Angeles to come and meet with Brooklyn so we could do some sort of chemistry test, to see if the two of us would sort of connect in a sort of father and daughter kind of way. And I remember feeling very nervous because I'd just seen the Florida Project, and I wonder if she'd like that in real life or whether she's just a really good actress. And luckily, she's a really good actress, and she was super sweet in real life. And me and Brooke, we just hit it off straight away. We just became really good friends, and it was exciting to sort of be with her and be around. There's quite a few young kids in the show as well, and just to watch Brooklyn just grow from this raw kind of gift that she has as an actress, to see that over the 6 months just kind of develop into this fully nurtured kind of incredible acting talent, So yeah, it was a joy, honestly.
Now, some of the folks watching this program on Apple TV may not even know this, but this is inspired by a true story. So when you're doing a project like this, knowing that this really happened to real people, is that kind of weird for you?
I actually didn't know it was based on a real story after I'd read the first 2 scripts. I was hooked into the story anyway, and then I found out that it was actually based on a real girl, and it kind of blew my mind. And I was like, wow, this is all real, And I think for me, and I'm sure for Brooklyn too, it just heightens the experience that bit more and makes it that bit more exciting that you know that this kind of actually happened, and the family that you're portraying are a real family, and that you have to sort of get the dynamics of that family structure right. But the amazing thing about the family that we portray, they came to visit us on the set, and I know Hildy and Brooklyn became very good friends, and me and Matt had some time to spend together. And they were so generous with their life and with their family and with their story, and were so just thrilled that we were kind of getting to tell their story and put it up on the screen. So it never felt sort of nervous or intimidating. It just felt like a very sort of fun exploration into their lives, really.
Well, both of you, thank you so much for taking the time to chat. Stay safe out there.
Thank you.
You too,
We
John.
will.
Thanks for having us.
You too.
Take care. Thank you.
And again, the program is called Home Before Dark. It's available now for on-demand streaming on Apple TV+. I'm going to throw a link to all of the information in the show notes for today to make it really easy to find at johnandheidishow.com. Right now, even a little vacation would be nice.
But this one is going to be great.
This October, we're going to Cancun for a fun event called The Sands.
Hear awesome music from Billy Idol, Belinda Carlisle, Cheap Trick, and so many more.
This happens at the end of October. And when everything blows over, we're going to need a vacation. I hope you will join us.
We've been to this same event for the last 3 years, and it's so much fun. I wouldn't miss it.
Get all the information and get your spot reserved to join us at radiotravelgroup.com.
That's radiotravelgroup.com.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
France has 12 time zones. Yeah, it's a lot. The country with the widest stretch of land is Russia. They span 11 time zones. Now, France technically has the most, clocking in at 12, but it's kind of due to some other things. They have territories that are dispersed in other parts of the world. The U.S. ties with Russia in second, but not all time zones are inhabited. So Russia is the only place in the world where one citizen could be waking up at 8 a.m. and another could be going to bed at 11 p.m.
Oh, crazy.
Yeah. So, again, the France one with 12 time zones, that's not really fair because it's not really France. It's between France and like all other territories they have all over the place. So, but it is definitely today's fun fact.
Some credit cards have really high rates or big annual fees. Usually, people sign up for these when it's all they qualify for. If that sounds like you, it may be time to get a better credit card. Over time, your situation changes, and you may qualify for a better credit card. Your current card hopes you don't think about it, but our site shows you many options to see if there's a better credit card for you. Check it out for free at bettercreditcards.com. That's bettercreditcards.com.
Now, a news headline from somewhere in this world, Dateline China. There's a city in China. I'm going to try to say the name. When I say try, I'll probably get it wrong. But Shenzhen, Shenzhen. Do you think that'd be Shenzhen?
It kind of sounds like it.
Okay, well, I hope so. Anyway, it's the first Chinese city to ban eating cats and dogs. Wait a minute, what? The mayor of Shenzhen came up with the idea to change the world. He said, I'm trying to change the world. And he thought, if we stop eating cats and dogs, that'll be the beginning of changing the world.
Okay.
So I didn't know that was even a thing.
I've heard people joke about it. I didn't know it was really a thing. I thought
it is a
was
thing.
just a
now,
stereotypical
this mayor
thing.
in Shenzhen, China, is saying we're putting a ban in place. None of that.
Wow.
No more of that. Okay. That's going to do it for a news headline. For you want to read the story? I've got a link to it. By the way. It's in the show notes for today. I'm not making it up. It's a news headline from somewhere in this world.
We're here to make it better.
If you find that drug or alcohol problems are hitting you too close to home, you can get help. Maybe it's time for rehab. Your insurance may even cover everything. Learn more at timeforrehab.com. Get help for a drug or alcohol problem within 24 hours.
We're here to make it better.
Get more information at timeforrehab.com. That's timeforrehab.com.
Now some weird news brought to you by WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com. Some folks will do anything to defy the near global order to stay at home. And this one, Heidi actually shared with me like a week ago. You showed me this video, and it really was kind of funny. There's a guy who wanted to go somewhere, apparently, and he dressed up like a bush.
Oh, gosh, yeah, this was so funny.
So Nicholas Murray and Madeline Madavies, a young couple in the UK, say they caught a neighbor attempting a very bushy breakout, and they captured the stunt on camera. They shared the clip on TikTok, got over 700,000 views right away. Murray also shared 2 different clips of the prank, grabbing 122,000 views. In the video, you can see a bush with 2 legs scuttling from atop the driveway down to the neighbor's drag, it says. In one post, it says, next door neighbor has taken things to new extremes.
Yeah, it was so funny.
It really was pretty funny, but I don't know that it was a good idea. That was probably a really bad idea. But it is today's weird news.
John and Heidi.
Now your moment of duh, brought to you by InsuranceChicken.com. A 99-year-old New Jersey man has been charged with violating the state's coronavirus emergency regulations. They broke up an engagement party. Now, we just talked recently about a funeral.
Yeah.
But this is an engagement party, and this 99-year-old was there with many other people. 4:30 p.m., an illegal social gathering. Police found several people, including the 47-year-old Yakov Kaufman and 45-year-old Eli Kaufman. Kaufmans, who were hosting the engagement party, also had guests in their home. In addition to being charged with violating a recent executive order barring such gatherings, they were also hit with half a dozen child endangerment counts because there were a bunch of children at the party.
Okay.
Among 8 other adults that were there, and Michael Zimmerman, a 99-year-old resident. So, just a weird... It just seems so bizarre to me that this stuff is even happening, but it is, and... Again, do what you want to do out there, but I think you should just obey the rules. It's all going to be over sooner rather than later, and much sooner if we just obey the rules. So there you go. That's my 2 cents. This is today's Moment of Duh.
Do you pay too much for insurance? Have you looked around? Or are you too chicken? Don't be afraid to look around to see if you can find a better deal at InsuranceChicken.com. We make it super simple for you to see rates from several different companies, to see what they have to offer, all in one place. Peck out great insurance deals at InsuranceChicken.com. Is it time for you to cross the road? See if we can save you money each month at InsuranceChicken.com. That's InsuranceChicken.com.
Now, fake news or Florida? Heidi, tell me, is this a true story from the great state of Florida, or is it hashtag fake news made up just to trick you and amuse me?
Alrighty.
All right, here we go. Fake news or Florida? Massive fire burns 3,500 rental cars at the Fort Myers Airport. $2 million in damage. Fake news or Florida?
I'm going to say fake news because I feel like I would have heard that.
It's a true story. It truly did happen. So I don't know when. Apparently it was just recently, though.
Yeah,
I've got a link to the story if you want to read it.
I think I would have heard that.
Yeah,
all
3,500 rental cars
Yikes.
at the airport in Fort Myers, Florida. $2 million in damage. So that's not good. But
I hope they took out the insurance.
Yeah, I hope so, too. That would be a good thing. My brother actually had insurance on a rental car when they went to Disney World, I think. So it would have been in Orlando, Florida. And they got in an accident and totaled the car, rolled the car. And he had taken out the insurance, so they literally just brought him another car and he drove away.
That's crazy.
I was like, that is nuts. So yeah, maybe you always get that insurance. This has been Fake News or Florida.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always like to wrap things up around here with good news, and I think this is good news. It comes your way courtesy of hashtag Gift Card Challenge. All of the details on that can be found at giftcardchallenge.org. And I've got several different fun stories, but I've got to pick one. Which one should I do? How about this one right here? And I know there's a lot of folks listening that are probably huge fans of this guy. Tyler Perry. I think Tyler Perry seems like a really neat dude.
He seems pretty neat.
Tyler Perry pays for seniors' groceries at 44 different Kroger stores and 29 different Winn-Dixie stores.
Isn't that great?
So
I read this earlier today.
Yeah, senior shoppers who went to these different supermarkets around Atlanta got a wonderful surprise when they got to the register. After getting ready to check out, they were told, oh, by the way, Tyler Perry has paid for your groceries in full.
That's so sweet.
He said, we would like to join our customers in thanking, this is from Felix Turner from the Kroger's department or Kroger's grocery store. We'd like to join our customers in thanking Mr. Perry for his kindness and generosity during this unprecedented pandemic. The corporate affairs manager for Kroger's Atlanta division is who said that, Felix Turner. It was truly a pleasure to see our customers fill with joy and gratitude as the news spread throughout the 44 stores across Metro Atlanta.
Sweet.
And they were able to snap some photos, and every single one, even though the people have a mask on their face, you can see the smile right through it.
Right, you can see their eyes.
You can't visually see it, but you can see their entire face lights up when somebody does something nice. It doesn't take, I don't know what that cost him, whatever it was. It says on Sunday he left a $500 tip for 42 people who were out of work. He went to a restaurant and said, "Hey, I want to give this." So, total of $21,000 is what he invested in groceries. So, but I think it's just a really, really cool thing.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And again,
Good for
it's
him.
awesome that he has the means to do that. I understand. There's a lot of people listening going, "Dude, if I had it, I'd give it." I understand. If you don't have it, that's okay. But give some time. Even take 2 minutes to pick up the phone and call somebody that you know is probably sitting home alone right now. 2 minutes. Call them and just say, "Hey, what's going on? Mm-hmm. What are you doing to stay busy?" Just to hear a human voice would be a huge thing for somebody. You can do that. It's not going to cost you anything.
Except for me. Don't call me.
Except for Heidi. Yeah, she's not a phone call kind of girl. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great day. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show. Oh, hey, your phone's ringing.